miserable crawling worms, are you here again, then? Have you come like Nimshi, son of Rehoboam, secretly out of your doomed houses to hear what's coming to you? Have you come, young and old, sick and well, matrons and virgins, if there is any virgins amongst you, which I doubt? Have you come to hear me tell of the great crimson licking flames of hellfire? You've come. You've come. Dozens of you, like rats to a granary. And what good will it do you? Out! Out! You're all done! Oh, do you never stop to think what that word means when you use it so lightly every day of your wicked lives? Huh? No. No, you don't. Oh, well, I'll tell you. It means endless, horrifying torment, with your poor sinful bodies stretched out on hot gridirons in the nethermost fiery pit of hell. And demons mocking you and waving cooling jellies in front of you whilst they bind you down tighter and tighter onto your dreadful bed. And the air will be full of the screams of your nearest and dearest, a squealing like slit pins, whilst they are slowly roasted to a turn. Look, you know what it feels like when you burn your hand, huh? When you're taking a bit of cake out of the oven, with a match, when you're lighting one of the godless cigarettes, huh? Aye. It stings with fearful pain, huh? Don't it? And then you run away to clap a bit of butter on it to take away the pain. But there will be no butter in hell. No. And your whole bodies will be burning and stinging with this unbearable pain. And then your blackened tongues will be sticking out of your mouth. And your cracked lips will try to scream for a drop of water. But no sound will come. Because your throat will be drier than the...
The tea shop was a haven where Flora could reflect upon her sworn task of giving order and tidiness to the chaos of cold comfort. Whilst flattering herself that all the Starcadders could be made civilized given time, she was confronted with a fresh challenge, and a personal one, in the shape of Mr. Mybug.
Hello, Flora Poste. Remember me, Mybug?
Did we meet in town?
A party given by the Poleswits. I say, do you believe women have souls?
I'm afraid I'm not very interested.
Aren't you? Good girl. As a matter of fact, I'm not very interested in whether women have souls either. Bodies matter more than souls. May I join you?
Do.
The Poleswits told me you were staying down here. I say, that orange does look good, yes. Think I'll try one, too. I simply adore eating things with a spoon. I think I'd like to toy with an orange.
I'm afraid I have to inform you, sir, that I am closed for the night.
I see. It sounds vaguely indelicate, that. Just an orange and some sugar, hmm?
With a sinking heart, Flora awaited the opening gambit. It came.
Well,
You are writing a book, aren't you? About Branwell Bronte?
as a matter of fact, I am. Yes, it's going to be damn good, too. Psychological study, of course. Dug up a whole lot of new material. Came across 3 letters that Branwell Bronte wrote to an old aunt in Ireland, a Mrs. Bronte, and the letters were written during a period when
He's
Branwell
away,
Bronte was
lost in
writing
his
about
own
it.
brilliance.
But it's obvious.
No more of that
It's
sexy
his
stuff for a
words,
bit.
Not Emily's. No woman could have written that with male stuff. His sisters hated him.
Not devoted to him?
Hated him. But they couldn't show it because of their little game.
Which little game was that?
Passing his manuscripts off as their own, of course. They stole his work and sold it to buy more drink.
Who for? Branwell?
No, for themselves. His sisters were all drunkards. Charlotte, Emily, Anne was the worst of the lot, of course. Bramwell adored her. He used to pretend to get drunk at the Black Bull in order to get more drinks for her on tick. I thought we might do some walks together if you care to. I better warn you, I'm pretty susceptible.
If we go walking in this weather, you might catch a cold, and then your book would be held up.
Are you with anybody?
Yes, my cousin's waiting for me across the street.
Oh, dear, I thought we might have walked it.
It's 7 miles, and I'm afraid my boots aren't stout enough.
Back to the king.
Well, perhaps we'll meet again.
Yes, I'll give you my card. Ah, I'm a queer, moody brute. Nobody likes me. I'm like a child that's being wrapped over the knuckles till it's afraid to shake hands. But there is something there if you care to dig for it.
Goodbye. And thank you so much for telling me about your book. It sounds most interesting. I hope we meet again.
Fornicator.
No! Dash it, Amos. I keep telling you he wasn't a stranger. I'd met him before in London. Amos, I'm sorry I walked out of your meeting.
Well, you should have stayed. I was inspired. Anyway, you missed the quivering.
Indeed, you were inspired, Amos. Honestly, I found your eloquence almost too overwhelming.
You did?
I did, really.
Maybe. Poor new sheep. Well, next time I'll single you out and give you strength. Then you'll stay and quiver with the best.
Thank you, Amos. All the same, I hope you'll really see about that Ford van.
Oh, Lord. Tell me if she's the devil sent to tempt me. Huh? I think he said no.
Unhand me, woman! Thou art gluttonous! Louis, what art thou doing? Why, thou hast torn my strap! Thou hast had thy ration this night. Why, and a goodly 'twere.
'Tis for Flora.
Peace!
'Tis for her.
Hush! Mark ye this, woman. If thou proves bothersome, I'll withhold it ya.
No, Seth. No. No.
Now then, Ivy, creep away. There's a good girl.
Right, lass, I'll be sending up a prayer for you tonight. And
Thank you, Amos.
I'll send it special, and of course it'll be from his chosen servant. So, good night, lass.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Robert Post's child. Evening, Cousin Flora.
How do you do? I feel sure you must be Seth.
Aye. What's that you're sewing?
Flora knew that he hoped it was a pair of knickers.
An afternoon tea cloth.
Aye, women's nonsense. Women be all alike. Fussing with their fal-lals and bedazing a man's eyes. When all they want is a man's blood and his heart out of his body and his soul and his pride.
Really?
Aye, that's what women want, a man's life. Then when they've got him bound up in their fal-lals and bedazing ways, he can't move because of the longing for them as cries in his man's blood. Do you know what they do then?
I'm afraid not. Would you mind passing me that reel of cotton just by your ear? Thank you very much.
They eats him. Same as hen spider eats a cock spider. That's what women do, if a man lets them.
Indeed.
Aye, but I said if a man lets them. Now I don't let no women eat me. I eats them instead. You don't understand half I've been saying, do you, little innocent?
I'm afraid I wasn't listening to all of it, but I'm sure it was very interesting. Now, what do you do on the evenings when you're not eating people?
I goes into beers on.
To play darts?
No. I goes to the talkies.
The talkies? Do you now?
Not that her knows about it.
Aunt Ada?
Keeps to her room, her does. Never comes down, except for the spring counting.
Tell me about the talkies, Seth.
The talkies? I likes them better nor anything in the world. Better nor this farm, nor my mother, nor Violet at the vicarage.
Indeed. That's interesting. Very interesting indeed.
I got 75 photographs of Marlene, 45 of Jenny Carroll, 55 of Laura Valet, 15 of Sigrid Maelstrom, and 10 of Penella Baxter. Signed ones. I worships them.
Would you like to meet them in the flesh?
I'd give anything to meet them in the flesh.
Excuse me, Seth. I'm just off to my room to write a most important letter to someone I met quite recently in London. A casting director. Good night, Seth.
Next day it was spring. Phoebus lifted his forehead over the flint-fanged crag, life burgeoned, and was quick. From meadow copse a shameless cooing rent the air, coots cooted, the water ouzels ouzled, and the pippin piper pipped. Every stone and rock every flowerlet and sprig of moss sweet herb and bitter herb, the ram who frolics by day, the stoat who roysters by night, and the ever-nibbling coney who does it any old time, were all bathed and blessed in a rich patina of love. Humankind was not exempt. No sooner had Night's goblins hurried to their hidey-hoes than dear sweet Elphine, ever sensitive to nature's calls, danced and pranced, as light and as free as the feathery angel puffballs that fly from the golden pisser beds.
Can't expect him to produce healthy stock if he's shut up in the smelly dark all day. Someone ought to let that bull out!
So you went out with the old devil last night, did you?
I'm not quite sure what you mean, but if you mean did I go with Cousin Amos, yes, I did.
And did the old devil say anything about me?
I can't remember. I'm afraid his sermon was so powerful it drove everything else out of my head. Oh. I advised Cousin Amos to address his sermon to a wider audience. I mean, he ought to go round the country preaching on a lorry.
On a lorry?
Certainly.
Threatening the harmless birds of the bushes more like.
Preaching at fairs and on market days. You see, if Cousin Amos were away a good deal, it would mean that someone else would have to take charge of the farm, wouldn't it?
Meaning you?
I've already told you, Reuben, I'd be no use at all at running a farm. I do think you might believe
If you don't mean you, who do you mean?
you.
Impossible. The old lady would never let him go.
What do you mean?
He daren't leave. None of us mun leave. There have always been
I know
Stark.
is a Cold Comfort farm, but surely Cousin Amos can decide for himself.
Never! He never dare cross Ada Doom, never. She ain't like other people's grandmothers. She's...
Oh, Reuben, do be a lamb and hurry up and tell me. The sun will be gone by the time I'm out on the downs.
She's mad.
Oh.
Mad. 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 Get back!
Give it to me, please!
Down the well she goes.
Hey, more streaming than a dung heap in August, there be. Poor untrimmed mummy.
You give it her, Adam.
What, me? No, don't fancy it. So enjoying to start you as I used to be.
Isn't anybody going to try and pull her out?
A man for rennet. Yet another problem in Flora's sworn campaign to tidy up the Starcadders. All the same, she wasn't doing too badly. Miriam's trouble had been resolved, and her plans for Seth, Amos, and Reuben were well underway. Whom should she tackle next?
Well, I never the bullseye. Oh, Len.
I did.
Let him out.
Who's at the pull out?
I did. I did.
That's done. Well,
Ha ha ha! wider. It was a deep mid-moon. One silvery cloud had lost his way between the piney sides of this long glen. Then to the bower they came. Naked they came. Naked to that smooth swarded bower. And at their feet the crocus brake like fire. Violet, amaranthus and asphodel, lotus and lilies.
Nay, lass, nay, put not thy clothes back on, were very pretty. Do not be a spoiling of it, I beg ye. Go on with your recitation.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Touched by me, thou after me! Thou art my woman, as head belongs to cock.
No! No!
Hello. What a delicious day. Have you been far?
Yes, no. Way over there. Oh. I can't tell you how I feel.
Elphine, are you engaged?
There's someone.
It's the young squire, Dick Hawk Monitor, isn't it?
We don't want to spoil things by having anything definite and binding. It's horrible to bind people down.
Nonsense, isn't it? It's an extremely good idea. What do you suppose will happen to you if you don't get married?
Oh, I shall get a job in an arts and crafts shop in Horsham. And later on, perhaps I shall go to Italy and learn to be a little like St. Francis of Assisi.
Elphine, it's quite unnecessary for a young woman to resemble St. Francis of Assisi. In your case, I think it would be downright suicidal. You see, a large girl like you must wear clothes that fit. Well, now what is it? Tell me.
It's Irk.
Irk.
He climbs the apple tree outside my bedroom window to watch me going to bed.
Does Dick Hawk Monitor know this?
Oh, I told him.
Well, what did he say?
He said, rotten luck, old girl.
Oh, bad. Very bad. I suppose you do care enough for him, my dear, to wish to become his wife.
It's his 21st birthday at the end of April. There's to be a dance for him at the assembly rooms, only I can't go. Grandmother doesn't allow Starkadders to accept invitations unless to funerals or the churching of women.
A dance? Listen, Elphine, I think it would be an excellent thing if you went. I'll try and see if I can arrange it. Oh, well, it may be difficult for us to procure some invitations, but I think my cousin Charles can help us there. We'll take you up to town. We're going to get you a brand new frock. We're going to get that hair done. My dear, you simply won't know yourself. You're going to be a changed woman.
Where's my... And when waterfalls mate under the May trees this summer, that will make her mine. The day that child were born, Aunt Ada said to me, Irk, put the cross in waterfall's blood on her feeding bottle to mark her for thine. But the cross I did. Every year since then, on thy birthday, I've took ye up to Tickle Penny Corner, and told you the one word. Remember. I warned you, city woman. God help him or her as tries to take her from me. Me and the water voles will get her back. I've said now!
Been here a month, and I haven't seen her. Thinks it's strange, does she? Dropped hints, has she? How dare she break in on my solitude? How dare she? Nothing must happen. Nothing must change. No one must leave the farm. Why should I fear her? The whole family knows her when I was a tiny little girl. So small that the lightest puff of breeze would blow my little crinoline skirt right over my head. I saw something nasty in the woodshed. Never forgotten it, I haven't. Remembered it all my life, that nasty thing. Even now, I can't see a bicycle past the window, but I get a sick plunge in my stomach. Outside in the world, horrid things, nasty things happen, but not here. So I am staying here.
Ruling the roost, having 5 meals a day brought up to you as regular as clockwork. So, all things considered, it hasn't been such a bad break for you that day you saw something nasty in the woodshed.
Does Seth dance?
I don't know. I hate him.
I can't say I like him much myself, but you must have a partner, you know.
Cousin!
Yes?
I'd like a word in private.
Certainly, Reuben. Elfine. If it's about big business, I'm not prepared to discuss it.
No, it's not that, no. I've been thinking about your words, Flora. I've been pondering them over. Now tell me, have I got it right? We'm to encourage the old devil.
Cousin Amos?
Aye. We to encourage him to go off. And I'll run the farm while he's away. He'll see as how I can do it. And maybe leave it for my own.
Exactly.
Dang me if I don't get into the old devil how he must be speechifying this week.
Victory was hers. What is more, this was the first sign of humanity she'd encountered among the Starcadders, and she was moved by it.
Exhilarating, isn't it, Flora? The womb of the earth is germinating. It's like trampling on the body of a great brown woman. I feel I'm a partner in some mighty rite of gestation.
2 or 3 times in the weeks that followed, Flora went walks with my bug. He was not interested in anything but sex. She found this understandable, if deplorable. After all, many of our best minds have the same weakness.
God, those birds, they've such a phallic, urgent look. Don't you think?
My bug put down her lack of enthusiasm to inhibitions.
It's curious how most Englishwomen of 19 to 24 are inhibited. Cold! That's what Englishwomen of 19 to 24 are. Cold. Nipples and virgins. Look, Flora, doesn't that little pool look just like a navel? You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to take off all my clothes and jump into it. It's so natural and real sometimes.
What is reality? Have we the strength to confront it? Only madmen and saints dare penetrate the looking-glass world. Reality is mankind's alien mirror.
Flora's favourite writer, the Abbé Fausse-Maigre, without actually laying down rules of conduct, outlined a philosophy for the civilized being, a guide to dignified life.
Can we ever be sure that an elephant's real name is elephant? Only mankind presumes to name God's creatures. God himself is silent upon the matter. How true.
I take him.
Post arrived yet?
He's got it. Irk? Turns you up, don't it? Seen today's dinner? Hanging round somebody's neck like that. Tomorrow's too, for all I know, and the day after's.
The York Monitor coat of arms. 'Tis ripped from the all. Will not rub me in my Elfie.
My letters, please. Thank you. And the other one. Come along.
'Tis ripped from the all. Who's writ to you?
Mary, Queen of Scots. Thanks.
Smart, aren't you? Well, I tell you, her's mine! Mine! Dick, Monitor, what's he? Squire? Never! Scrawny tit of a boy. Playing at horses, in his red coat just like his daddy afore him. Lay to what I say. There's mine! Above me arm. Man likes his beast to be a bit dainty. Me and the water voles will get her back again.
Are those water bowls round your neck? How interesting. I've never seen one before.
Where the water voles can wait! I'm dead now!
Well, there's a nasty temper for you.
Is that Aunt Ada's tray?
Yeah, usual grub. Yeah, she can't half chuck, I'll give her that.
Just a sec. I think I'd like to deliver it.
You?
Her artiness was rooted out of her lock, stock and ballad. She was to be seen at the Wigmore Hall, the Vic Wells, and a Fargin review.
Adam and Eve, they had no cake, till Eve, she met a dirty snake. They didn't know what was right or wrong, till the snake, he sang her a dirty song.
Returning home, she learnt to be serious about horses and never to go on long walks unless accompanied by a dog. Thus her education was fulfilled.
My dear, I met a sweet young maid. I said to her, come walk with me through the forest glade. Oh, what shall we do when we get there? Please tell me, I must know. We'll sit beneath the sacred tree and watch the armies grow. Oh, oh, oh,
Fetch me my stays!
oh, oh, oh.
I tell you, I mun go downstairs. I mun feel you all about me. All of you. Micah, Urk, Ezra, Caraway, Markaway, Amos, Reuben, Seth, I and Mark and Luke. None of you mun ever leave me.
Once, when you were a little girl, you had seen something nasty in the woodshed. Now you are old. you must suffer indignities. You were old. You hadn't worn your elastic-sided boots, not since the day you buried Fig. Fig, your husband. What was he to you? A prickly beard, the smell of flannel, a fumbling, an urgent voice in the larder.
These boots smell nasty. Lavender water, Judith. Souse them with lavender water. Inside and out.
You look extremely beautiful. Mind you behave yourself properly.
There's a big car drawn up.
That'll be Charles. Is Irk anywhere about?
No, I left him on the hill with the water voles.
Oh, he's safe for half an hour. Delphine, not a sound. Shh.
As the car departed, the windows of the farmhouse stared dead and glazed as fishes' eyes, reflecting the dim and pallid blue of the fading west. The alembic of night sky distilled a darkness which seeped through stone and jutty ledge, mullion and scullion, indeed the whole fabric of Cold Comfort Farm. The livid silver tongues of the early stars leaped twixt the shapes of chimney pots and shimmered like idiot children dancing to long-forgotten tunes. In Upper Room, an all-unmoving shadow cast itself dumbly across the shrouded window panes, the light waxing and waning as doth the faltering eye and head of dying beast. The house itself, at witching time of this May eve, thrust deeper roots into the yard. No sound broke its quiescence. Only the light from Upper Room burnt waveringly on, naked and innocent in ever-deepening tenebrae.
Flora Poste, Mr. Charles Fairford, Miss Elphine and Mr. Seth Arak Adar.
My Jove, what a filling!
What a goddess!
What a scorcher!
Elfie. Excuse me, Pamela. My Elfie. You're beautiful.
Oh, Richard, do you accept me?
I'm unworthy of you.
Aren't you?
Aye. You are enjoying yourself, aren't you, Florence Nightingale? I feel more like a minor character out of Cinderella.
Miriam, you come here. You come here with me and take that filthy thing out of your mouth. I don't know whatever next. Get out of the way.
Peace! Peace, all of you! I have a message for you from Aunt Ada. This night, She will be holding the counting.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's awfully jolly to see you all here tonight, and I'm awfully glad you could all come.
We can do that all right.
I shall always be glad to remember that you were all able to be here on my 21st birthday. It makes it all the more jollier somehow. I mean, I do like to have a cheery mob round me, what? What?
Get on with it.
Yes. Well, it's a jolly evening, well, particularly jolly evening. I mean, jolly for me, that is, because I've got something to tell you that I know you're all going to think quite frightfully spiffingly jolly. Miss Starkadder and I are engaged.
Starkadder? Who is she? I guess she does it proud. Starkadder. A jolly good seat to that too.
She took me to a chamber. She hardly closed the door. Where?
Quiet, Adam.
Mother, your family is assembled.
All of them? All? Where is Flora Poste?
Good night, Charles. Oh, I say, it looks as though folks are still up.
It's her, all right. She molded an accountant.
Well, brace up, Elphine. We are, I'm afraid, for it.